Hi, this is Brother Teacher. I'm going to talk with you about an adult subject: sex. Having sex between a man and a woman, and enjoying sex between a man and a woman, a couple, a married couple. Okay, now, if you are squeamish, if you are afraid to hear about subjects like this, then you can turn this off right now. I believe that there are adults, men and women, watching this video right now. If you are sensitive to someone talking about sex or the act of sex, then turn it off. I mean, if you have children, then you know what sex is. You've had sex. So why are you trepidatious? Why do you have a fear about listening to a conversation about sex? This is not porn. This is not grotesque. This is not graphic. As a matter of fact, if you were females, ladies, if you were dealing with your gynecologist or your OBGYN, he or she is going to touch you in your private area to conduct examinations. So, what's wrong with a man talking to you about a subject that's really not that sensitive? It is a very ordinary thing to have sex. If it were not, we would not be able to populate the world. Okay, so again, you have been forewarned. If you don't want to hear me talk about sex, and I'm a commentator, I talk about everything in good taste. I'm a commentator, and if you don't want to hear it, turn it off. And I hope that this doesn't offend those that listen to me. It shouldn't. If you have a girlfriend, a boyfriend, or a husband or wife, it should not offend you. As a matter of fact, you should be learning something. So, here we go. I don't plan to stay before you long. I just want to point something out about the physiology of having sex, men and women. Intercourse. Pleasing your partner. Let me first say this. What you do in your bedroom is between you and your partner. It is. If you want to hang from the ceiling, role play, experiment with all types of positions, that's your business. Between you and your partner, and not the world to know. Okay? But for normal heterosexual behavior or sex intercourse, if you are a couple, men, stop just thinking about yourselves when it comes to sex with your companion. In other words, control how soon you have an orgasm. I said it. If you have to work with it for a while, if you have to talk to your companion and explain to her maybe you're excited or too excited and you need to take your time or slow down, then do so. Reason being, you want to please one another. You were designed to do that. A woman can have an orgasm. A man can have an orgasm. You were given that ability by nature for a reason, to enjoy the act of sex. So when you are having intercourse, both of you should orgasm. Both of you should climax. Now, men, if you orgasm and your wife or companion does not orgasm, that's wrong. And ladies, if you orgasm and your man has not orgasmed or had a climax, that's wrong. You should stay long enough for him to have an orgasm as well. You both should be pleased during the act of intercourse. Both of you, not just one. because that's going to rest within that other person, and they're going to feel slighted. They're going to be shortchanged, in other words. Sex, intercourse, is the highest expression of love when you are in a relationship. It is the highest expression of love. So when you have sex with your partner, you are both supposed to equally benefit when it comes to climax. Now, again, when a man is having sex with his partner and he feels the urge to climax, slow down. But you should understand both partners, right? You should understand one another. These are conversations that you should have no fear about talking it out about. In other words, have a conversation. Look your partner dead in the eyes and explain to them. Sometimes it's hard to speak on this particular subject because it's sensitive to talk about it to one another. Some people have an open enough relationship they can talk, but there are others, and you'd be surprised how significant that amount of people is, that are afraid to talk about sex and what pleases them and what doesn't please them and how they were dissatisfied and so forth. But talk to your partner. It's going to make you, if anything, closer. It really will. You need to understand one another's body and what one another enjoys. And men, take your time. Allow your companion, your female partner, to climax, and then you can go ahead and have your climax or your orgasm as well. But think about her first. Reason being, she can have several or multiple orgasms, where in most instances, most healthy men can have 1 to 2. I'll say it again. Yes, some people don't know this and don't believe this, but most healthy men, and I say healthy in a strong sense, healthy, if you're really healthy, not a smoker, excessive drinker, and so forth, you can have 1 to 2 orgasms during one episode. You actually can. So, but let's look at it from the standpoint of a man being able to have just one orgasm. If you allow your companion, men, that is, to have her orgasm, then you can go ahead and have yours. It's not guaranteed if you go first that you're going to be able to do it again while you're going through the act of intercourse. So, I hope that this was beneficial to you, but I want to say this too. When you're engaging in intercourse or about to, don't forget the foreplay. It is important oftentimes to get your partner in the mood. I'm talking about the woman, the female. Sometimes caressing, a kiss on the cheek, even on the neck, just depends on what her likes and dislikes are, but this comes out in your conversations prior to that. So, petting right before intercourse and not just jumping right into it, because you have to get her in the mood oftentimes when she's not in the mood necessarily, guys. Okay, so it's not like wham bam thank you ma'am and I'm done. It shouldn't work that way, because it's unfair to her that she cannot climax, and she's going to be frustrated and maybe very angry. She may not express it, but later on down the road, if this becomes a habit with you, she may actually be seeking satisfaction or gratification elsewhere. That's a fact. It has happened more than you know it. All right, this is Brother Teacher. If you want to respond to this particular subject that I just brought to you, please do it in good taste. If you are new to my channel and you say anything off the cuff that is inappropriate, I'm going to block you. I'm going to report you. It's really that simple. Okay? We do things as God does, decently and in order, here, up in here. All right, remember that. And as always, if you have any questions, even on this subject, even if you have a subject that you want me to address or talk about to include sex, that you feel uncomfortable exposing or making the world aware of here on this particular platform, you can always email me and ask me your question personally, and I'll answer it for you. Okay? But keep it in good taste again. Much love. Yahweh loves you. Brother Teacher loves you. So long.